Friday night took care of my weekday blues. I woke up, had breakfast, and read the news. I'm feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. But I feel like there's something I'm forgetting to do.
Hey, Toby, the show's about to start.
Oh, yeah. It's a Saturday show. 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 It's a Saturday show.
Oh boy, Toby, I'm just so excited today.
What are you excited for, Otto?
Well, my cousin Big Fred is coming to visit.
Big Fred, eh? I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in so long. It's gonna be so good to catch up.
Alright, well while you wait, why don't we check out what the word of the day is, and I'm gonna run in the basement real quick.
Okay, I'll just be waiting here.
Hi, Christopher.
Hey, Kashi, how you doing?
I'm great. Hey, I noticed you got a haircut.
I sure did, because I'm going downtown for my family reunion.
Oh, wait, your family reunion?
That's right. I'm getting together with all my cousins and my aunts and uncles and everyone I haven't seen in a long time.
Wow, that sounds so fun.
It will be. So we're talking all about families this week.
Oh, that's right.
Right, and I thought we'd see what Lexi has for us.
Oh, sure. I think I can press the button.
Okay, go ahead. Well, let's see what she has.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I think it says tradition.
it does say tradition.
Tradition.
Kashi, do you have any family traditions?
Oh, wow. Okay, so my family is from Monsterland, and our national colors are blue and yellow. So every time we celebrate our national holiday, we dress up in blue and yellow, and all of our foods are blue and yellow too.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
Aren't families great?
They are.
And you know, they can be all different kinds. You can have a mom and a dad. You can have grandparents.
You can have a mom and a dad and a dad.
You can have families that look all different ways.
You can have somebody that you say is part of your family because you decided that's how you want it to be.
And you can even have pets in your family.
Yes.
Well, are you ready for the summer game code?
I am.
Okay, here it is. It's 6 letters.
Okay.
It's a constellation.
Oh, like stars up in the sky?
That's right. And this is also the name of a very famous Ann Arbor band.
Oh.
And last hint, it means twins in Latin.
Oh, wow.
Well, if you think you know the answer, you can go to play.aadl.org for big points.
Okay.
Good luck.
Tradition.
See you next week.
Tradition.
Knock, knock. Oh boy, Big Fred, you're here. So good to see you. Come in, come in.
Oh, hey there, Otto. How you doing there, bud? It's so good to see you. Otto, I'm really digging your accommodations. This place is great. Are you enjoying yourself?
Thanks, Fred. I've really been enjoying the time I've spent here.
Well, aren't you going to introduce me to your family?
Well, my mom's doing pretty good, and Uncle Testudo's always got a story to tell.
No. I'm not talking about them. I know them. I'm talking about your new family.
You know, I never really thought of it that way, but I guess you're right. All right, come on. Let's go see what Toby's up to.
Yeah. Okay.
Ohio. Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlie, and I'm here with some more Japanese words. This week we're talking about family. So let's start with that word, family. One way to say family in Japanese is kazoku. Now, kazoku usually means your close family members or the people you live with. So if you live with your mom, dad, and grandma, you would call all of them your kazoku. But if you live with just your parents and grandma lives in her own house, you probably wouldn't include her in your kazoku. But really, it's up to you who your kazoku or family is. Speaking of parents, let's talk about moms. So just like how English has mom, mother, mama, mommy, there's many different ways to say mom in Japanese. But the one that's used the most often is okaa-san. So make sure you're stretching that ah sound in the middle there. Okaa-san, mom. So if you're talking about dad, it's kind of the same thing in that there's tons of ways to say dad in English and Japanese. So again, we're just going to stick with the one that's used the most often, and that's otou-san. Now this one has a long o sound in the middle there, so remember to stretch that sound. Otou-san, dad. In the end, everyone's family, or kazoku, is different, but a family might include a mom, okaa-san, and or a dad, otou-san.
This is a metal device, and you can see numbers right along here from 3 to 13. This has 2 slides on it, right here and right here. And it's made out of metal, and originally this came from a store in Ann Arbor on Main Street. What is it?
Hey, Toby, sorry to interrupt you, but look who's here.
Hey, Otto. Who is it? Did the mailman scare you again?
It's my cousin, Big Fred.
Oh.
Big Fred, meet Toby. Toby, meet Big Fred. Hey there, it's so nice to meet you, Toby. Otto always has such good things to say about you.
Very nice to meet you, Big Fred.
Yeah, Toby's the one that helps all my good ideas come to life.
Yeah, you could say that.
So, Toby, Big Fred wanted to meet you. He said that you're my family now.
Well, Otto, I'd have to say that's true. You know, families come in all different shapes and sizes, and I'm really glad that you're a part of mine.
Oh, well, I agree with that, so I guess I gotta introduce him to the rest of the family.
Well, you better get going.
Okay, Otto, let's go, bud. I'm really excited to see the rest of your family. All right, see you in a bit.
Hi everybody, Amanda here. I have something really cool I would like to show you. It's a book from my bookshelf, but it's a book that I don't know how to read. It's a book that was written in Icelandic. Here it is. It's a very tiny book. It's actually a Bible, and it is an Icelandic Bible. This book was given to me by my grandmother. Now my grandmother, she died many years ago, and she gave it to me before she died. And my grandma got it from her foster mother. So my grandma's real mom died when she was a very small girl. So she was raised by her aunt and uncle, and her aunt and uncle became her mom and her dad. And her eventual little cousin was her sister, her little sister. So this book was given to my grandmother by her foster mother. The book itself is from 1918, so it's a very old book. If you do the math, it is now 2020, and this is from 1918, so it's over 100 years old. Now, I can't read Icelandic, and I love this book so much because it's a keepsake, it's a memory. Inside, if I look through it, it is full of all kinds of little things that my grandmother and her foster mother left inside here. So if you think about how old this book is and how old some of the things inside of it are, that is pretty special, pretty rare, and that is why I like this book so much. Would you like to see what's inside? Me too. So here is the front of the book. Here is the spine of the book. It has a nice texture to it. It's old, over 100 years, so it is falling apart a little bit. It's very fragile. So let's open it and see where our adventure begins. Here we go. This is a note my grandma wrote and put at the beginning. This was my foster mother's Bible, just as she left it with her little treasures in it. And inside, we flip through, you can see there's all kinds of little things tucked in there. There are lots of photographs. This is a great photograph to show you. Again, there's a note on the back my grandmother wrote. My real mother on the right and my foster mother, they were sisters. And if I look on the photograph, this here on the left is the woman who first owned this Bible and who gave it to my grandmother. And that's my grandma's real mom. Inside there are little clippings from the newspaper, little poems, more family photographs. There are birth announcements and death announcements, some in English, some in Icelandic. All kinds of little clippings, and I'd rather left some notes on some of them so we would know why they were important or who was in them that we might be related to. All kinds of fun clippings in here. More little newspaper clippings. And you can see these pieces of old newspaper have been in here so long, it's discolored part of the book. Oh, look, there's a leaf. I wonder how long that's been in here. Wow, that's cool. All kinds of little things stuck inside here. Oh, here's a whole stack of photos. Oh, look at this one. Doesn't she look fancy? This is the woman who owned this book before she gave it to my grandmother. So there you go. This whole tiny book filled to the brim with all kinds of old family memories, just as my grandmother and her mother left it. I'm so happy that I was able to get this book from them. Check in your house, see if you have anything cool, or your parents, or your grandparents. You might have something valuable as well.
Hi everyone, it's Lucy. I am back with another installment from Mercy Watson to the Rescue. And when we left off, we were at the end of chapter 6, and Mercy was staring at Eugenia through the window, and Eugenia Lincoln was staring back at Mercy. And baby Lincoln was sitting up in bed, surprised. Okay, chapter 7. Eugenia ran toward Mercy. Mercy's heart beat faster. There was going to be a chase. Mercy loved a chase. She let Eugenia get very close to her. Oink, said Mercy, dashing away. Get out of my yard, shouted Eugenia. Oink, oink, said Mercy. She ran in circles. She kicked up her heels. No pigs allowed, Eugenia shouted. Oh, sister, said Baby, please be careful. A siren wailed. A fire truck pulled into the Lincoln sisters' driveway. Ned and Lorenzo got out of the truck. Do you think that's the emergency? Ned asked. Could be, said Lorenzo. Ned and Lorenzo sighed. You never know with this job, said Lorenzo. You're right, said Ned. You never know. Chapter 8. Ma'am, said Lorenzo to Baby, did you call the fire department? Oh dear, said Baby, I did not. But Eugenia may have called. Who is Eugenia? Asked Ned. My sister, said Baby. Is that her? Asked Lorenzo. The one chasing the pig? Yes, said Baby, that's her. Baby and Ned and Lorenzo watched Eugenia chasing Mercy through the yard. Lorenzo cleared his throat. What was the emergency exactly? Asked Ned. I thought I saw a monster at my bedroom window, said Baby. But it was not a monster. It was Mercy. Mercy? Said Lorenzo. The pig, said Baby. The pig who lives next door. I see, said Ned. Eugenia does not care for Mercy, said Baby. In her opinion, pigs belong on farms. There's something to be said for that opinion, said Lorenzo. Ned nodded. Help! Shouted a faraway voice. Help! Help! Help us! Did you hear that? Asked Ned. Somebody is in trouble, said Lorenzo. Let's go! Chapter 9. Ned and Lorenzo ran toward the call for help. They went into the Watsons' house. Help! Ned and Lorenzo looked up. They saw a bed hanging out of the ceiling. They saw Mr. and Mrs. Watson holding on to the bed for dear life. We are saved, cried Mrs. Watson. Of course we are saved, said Mr. Watson. Mercy has alerted the fire department. She is amazing, said Mrs. Watson. She is unbelievable. She is a porcine wonder, said Mr. Watson. Ned and Lorenzo ran upstairs. They picked up Mr. and Mrs. Watson. The Watsons' bed sighed loudly and crashed all the way through the floor. Boom! Mr. Watson looked at the hole where the bed used to be. I have always believed very firmly in the fire department, said Mr. Watson. As have I, said Mrs. Watson. As have I. From outside the Watsons' house came a squeal. Gotcha! Shouted Eugenia. And that's the end of chapter 9, and that's where we're going to stop. Just as Eugenia has caught Mercy in their chase. So we will pick up there next time with chapter 10. Thanks for listening.
Okay, Fred. First on the list is Wilfredo. Oh, he looks like a nice guy, Otto. Yeah, he doesn't talk much, but him and I share an affinity for food. Oh, always good to have someone with you that loves to eat. Oh, hi, Wilfredo. See, I told you he doesn't talk much. Well, who's next in your family? Well, you met Toby, and you met Wilfredo, and you know me, so the only one left is Stephanie, Toby's wife. I really admire her. She's something like a superhero to me, and she's a great cook. Oh, well, that's awesome, Otto. I really hope I get to stay for dinner.
Hey everybody, this is Sean here, and welcome back to the Saturday Show. In this segment, we will be learning how to say different family words in Spanish. Spanish is very fun, and it can be pretty easy to learn. And today, we're going to just take a few minutes and learn about certain words in Spanish that we use for family, or la familia. So the first word we have here is father, or as it is in Spanish, padre. Padre. The next word we have is mother, or madre in Spanish. Madre. Next we have son. In Spanish it is called hijo. Hijo. Next up we have daughter. Hija. Hija. You'll notice with many words for relatives in Spanish, a lot of times our masculine nouns end in O and our feminine nouns end in A. So for many words, you'll find that it's pretty easy to remember because for son, for instance, is hijo, and then for daughter is hija. For instance, uncle in Spanish is tío, T-O, and aunt is tía. But today we're going to just stick with our immediate family for this segment. Our next word we have is hermano. That means brother in English. Hermano.
And our next word is hermana, which means sister. Hermana. See how the trend keeps going when we use our masculine ending in O, and then our feminine sounds ending in A. And for our last set of words, we're going to do our grandparents. So for grandfather, we have abuelo. Abuelo. Our very last word we have here is for grandmother, and that is going to be abuela. Abuela. Now, after we have gone through all of our words, I hope that you had a good time learning just a few family words in Spanish. And I encourage all of you, if you really like this segment, to give Spanish a try sometimes. You might find it to be really fun to learn. Thank you, and I will see you on the next segment of the Saturday Show.
Hello! Today we're going to tell you about Welcoming Week, which runs from September 12th through September 20th. Welcoming Week is created by Welcoming America. They lead a network of hosts and partners around the United States and world who try to make their communities a more welcoming place for all. Through Welcoming Week, organizations like the library bring together immigrants, refugees, and longtime residents to build strong connections and work to make their community welcoming for all. The United States is made up of people from all over the world. Some moved here a long, long time ago. Some came here more recently. Some come to stay, some are only here to visit. The people that make up the United States are very diverse. They come in all sizes, shapes, colors, and they speak many languages. Over 400 different languages are spoken in America. We hope that you too can be a welcoming neighbor. Can you think of ways you can make a stranger feel welcome? Happy Welcoming Week!
This is a Brannock device used to measure your feet when you buy shoes.
Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good, Otto. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited. My cousin Big Fred is here, and I wanted to introduce him to you.
Oh, okay.
Stephanie, meet Big Fred. And Big Fred, meet Dr. Stephanie Hawks.
Hi, Big Fred. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, Stephanie. So nice to meet you.
Will you be staying for dinner?
Oh, yeah. Otto tells me you're a very, very good cook.
I am.
Good. Well, we won't keep you. Yeah, we gotta let her go. She does a lot of good work, and we don't want to bother her. All right. Thanks, Stephanie.
All right, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Such a nice day today. What's over here? Ooh, look at that. What do I find? Secret project. I wonder what kind of secret project we're going to be. Time capsule. That's our secret project. Welcome to AADL TV. I want to show you how to make that hidden treasures which we can share with our family in the futures. First, we need a container. It can be a glass jar if you want to hide it in the ground. I decided to use a cardboard box so I could put it away in my closet and open it 10 years from now. As you can see, I decorated my box with tissue paper and picture the way I want it. You could decorate your time capsule any way you would like. Second, we need to decide what we want inside the box. I decided to put some mail that my 4 grandchildren have sent to me this past year. My 5-year-old grandson Dimitri sent me his alphabet practice sheet. My granddaughters has sent me her first watercolors. They are so precious to me. And I'm including a letter that have written to them recently about the COVID-19. I have here also the things about me, year of 2019 to 2020 sheet, which my grandchildren fill out about themselves. It will be fun to look back 10 years from now to see what they have filled out on. I'm sure they will have a kick out of it. My other granddaughters said she wanted to be a baker when she grew up. I know who I should ask for the baking advice when I'm doing baking. I have here few items to remind us some of the special tradition we have. These colorful eggs remind me of when my grandson played his Russian Easter egg games. The rule of the game is simple. One holds a hard-boiled egg and taps the egg of another participant with his own egg to intend to break the other ones without breaking his own egg. Here is a pickle ornament that reminds me of the German-American tradition at Christmas time, which both of my granddaughters love. They would look all over the tree for this hidden ornament. The first persons to find the pickles will receive an extra present. Finally, here is some red envelope that I give to my family during Chinese New Year. I wish it would bring them blessing of great happiness and prosper, as they would say Gong Hei Fa Choi in return. I also include some pictures of my grandkids on vacations with me. And some of their favorite food recipe they may enjoy to make in the futures. Of course, there are so many memories that we want to put in a time capsule to share in the future. Each one of these is specially designed of what we want to cherish with our family. I enjoy making this time capsule. I hope it will bring you some idea and inspiration to start one for your family. Thanks again for watching AADL TV.
Hey guys, did you finish meeting all the family?
We sure did, Toby.
Oh, wait a second. We've got a breaking news segment.
Welcome to Herb Nerfler on the scene. Herb Nerfler, the intrepid reporter, was voted the #1 reporter in his entire neighborhood by his parents. Welcome to Herb Nerfler.
Hey everybody, Herb Nerfler here, reporter on the scene with this young wildlife explorer. What is your name?
Lily.
Lily. That is an interesting name. Well, today she brought me out because we have these really beautiful creatures. I think they're dinosaurs. They must be dinosaurs. What are they, Lily? Lily.
Sandhill cranes.
They're Santa cranes. What?
Sandhill cranes.
Sandhill cranes. Well, let's take a look.
Most of them are coming down.
And look, there's one over there in the grass, lying down. Is that a grown-up or a baby?
Just got up.
Lily, is that a grown-up or a baby?
That is a baby.
How can you tell if it's a baby?
Because the babies don't have a red stripe.
The babies don't have red on their heads yet. So this one here, this tall one, is a grown-up. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, how often do these birds come here to your backyard, Lily?
Probably every 30 minutes to an hour.
They come here all the time?
Yes.
How come they come to that spot right there?
It's because it's right under our bird feeder.
Oh, it's under the bird feeder,
like
so they
eating the
eat the bird seed. Wow.
We also have a garden.
Come this way,
and
come this way.
We feed them grubs.
We feed them grubs. So, excuse me, Mr. Dinosaur. No, Mr. Sandhill Crane. Do you like this backyard? Do you find lots of birdseed here? They're very quiet. Apparently they don't like questions, but that's okay. Well, your reporter here, Herb Nerfler, will bring you more on this news-breaking story with Al Lilly and the Sandhill Cranes.
Look at this footage that Lily sent us. She took this footage from her living room looking out into the backyard, and it looks like the Sandhill Cranes are practicing something. It looks like the dad Sandhill Crane is trying to teach something to his two young babies. I'm not sure if it's a dance or if he's teaching them to fight off something bigger than they are. Well, I looked it up, and sure enough, the father, Sandhill Crane, is teaching his young ones how to dance. That's how they attract a mate for life. They flap their wings and they bob their heads and they fly just a little bit. And that's how they keep a mate for life. From Herb Nerfler on the scene, join us next time. Back to you, Toby.
Thanks, Herb. All right, so you guys met the family. Big Fred, what'd you think?
Oh, your family's just great, Otto. All of them. You're so lucky.
Well, what are you guys going to do now?
Well, I was thinking that we could go outside and play in the mud or chase some flies, something like that.
Well, I've got an idea. Big Fred, did you know that Otto is a big fan of history?
I did. Otto's always been a history buff.
Yeah. Well, I've been working on this segment. Why don't you guys take a look?
Oh, this sounds interesting.
Oral history. So, what is it? Oral history is a field of study and a method of gathering, preserving, and interpreting voices and memories of people, communities, and participants in past events. Oral history is the oldest kind of history there is. Before human beings, and turtles for that matter, had written language, the only way for family stories, histories, myths, and the like to be spread around and passed down was through storytelling. For example, most of what we know about indigenous North Americans before European settlement is through their oral histories and storytelling. Oral history is also new. It got a big boost during the 20th century. The invention of audio and video recording devices made it easier for people to preserve stories and memories. But at its core, oral history is the preservation of people's stories about the life they lived, the experiences they've had, and their hopes for the future. Have you ever heard the phrase, history is written by the victors? Well, in a way, that's kind of true. See, when people started writing down history, they were the ones that chose what subjects to cover. Very often, these subjects were major world events and chronicles of important people like presidents, kings, and generals. But as the 20th century rolled on, some historians began to think about hidden histories, ones that were on the brink of being lost forever. Like, sure, you can ask a general what his experience was during a single battle, but what about the soldiers who were on the ground during that battle? Aren't they just as important to the story? And what about historically oppressed groups? Don't they have just as much to say about the American story as a president or a senator? To me, the answer is yes. And that's why I love oral history. Oral history is for all people. One of the things that oral history is fantastic for is family history. Preserving family stories is something that you can do yourself. So, with this quick guide, you should be interviewing and preserving oral histories in no time. First, remember that the stories you record are the property of the person that told them to you. Never share or distribute an oral history without the consent and knowledge of your interviewee. Along those same lines, never record an oral history without telling the person that that's what you're doing. Second, doing an oral history is all about preparation. The more prepared you are as an interviewer, the more complete your history will be. Talk briefly with the person you want to interview, then write a list of questions. Third, do a little research yourself. For example, if your grandparents grew up in the 1950s and 1960s, read a little bit more about that time period. You may find new things you'd like to ask them about. Fourth, ask questions that are open-ended, like, what did you think when this happened? How did you feel about this event? Yes and no questions rarely produce good answers. Fifth, preserve your recording in a way that it will last forever. Oral histories of people long gone survived because they were told over and over. Today, we have the advantage of being able to record and preserve these stories. So, Otto, you think that's something you want to do with Big Fred?
It sure does, Toby. I think I'd love to do that, as long as Big Fred is okay with it.
Well, yeah, Otto. I got a lot of stories I'd love to tell you. I'd be really happy to do this with you.
Sounds great.
Well, it looks like Otto and Big Fred are getting going on their oral history. For more information about some of the stuff that you've seen today, including resources on oral history projects, you can go to aadl.org/The Saturday Show. And if you'd like to write into us, we'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and send an email to tss@aadl.org. Until next time, bye.